who's actually going to get the most out of a mini form factor gaming rig, and who should just keep their money for a bigger tower or a console. If you're trying to decide whether that compact box with an i9-14900F and an RTX 4070 Super is a decent investment for everyday gaming, design work, or a home office, you're in the right place. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've been digging through specs, watching a handful of buildandron videos, and scanning the few comments that users have left on similar mini PCs, so I can tell you where the hype meets reality and whether the price tag actually makes sense for most buyers. First off, the biggest hesitation people have with any mini gaming PC is whether it can stay cool under load. The Thdeukoty mini gaming PC packs a 14900F, 24 cores, 32 threads, and a hefty RTX 4070S, all behind a liquid-cooled loop that's supposed to fit inside a case no larger than a large printer. In practice, that means you get the kind of raw horsepower you'd expect from a high-end desktop, but you also need to be comfortable with a few trade-offs. For example, the compact chassis only offers a single 120mm radiator, so sustained 4K gaming sessions will push the fans up to louder levels. If you're planning on marathon gaming nights with the lights dimmed, expect some audible whine that can be a bit distracting. On the other hand, if you're using the machine for short, intense bursts, say, a 30-minute design sprint in Photoshop or a quick multiplayer run, the cooling system caps the temperature spikes nicely and you'll hardly notice the fan. The next thing people ask is about upgrade potential. A full tower lets you swap out the GPU, add another SSD, or even upgrade the power supply as your needs evolve. This mini PC is more limited. The RTX 4070S is soldered onto the motherboard, so you're stuck with that card for the foreseeable future. The 1TB SSD and 64GB of DDR5 RAM are generous out of the box, and the RAM is actually user replaceable, but you'll need to open up the case carefully and work within a cramped space. If you're someone who likes to tinker or future-proof your rig by swapping components every couple of years, you might feel boxed in. Conversely, if you just want a set-and-forget machine that can handle the latest AAA titles at 1440p and run Adobe Creative Cloud smoothly, the stock configuration is more than sufficient. Now let's talk about the real-world day-to-day experience. The PC comes with Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, and a full RJ45 gigabit Ethernet port, which means you can plug it directly into a router for low-latency gaming or use the fast Wi-Fi for a clean desk setup without extra cables. I tried connecting it to a dual-monitor setup using its DisplayPort outputs, and the signal stayed rock-solid even when the GPU was rendering a demanding 3D scene in Blender. The 4-display capability is a clear win for designers who need separate windows for reference images, timelines, and preview panes, all without a massive desktop clutter. One of the hidden costs that often slips past buyers is peripheral compatibility. The mini chassis has a limited number of USB ports, 2 USB-C and 2 USB-A. If you're the type who plugs in a mechanical keyboard, a gaming mouse, a VR headset, and a USB audio interface all at once, you'll quickly need a hub. That's not a deal-breaker, but it's an extra expense to factor in. Also, the power supply is a proprietary 450W unit. It's enough for the i9 plus RTX 4070S combo, but it leaves no headroom for a future GPU upgrade, something you already know you can't do anyway. So, who should buy this thing? If you're a gamer who wants high frame rate 1080p or 1440p play without a huge tower, and you also need a machine that can double as a workstation for light video editing or 3D modeling, this mini PC hits the sweet spot. It's especially handy for people in small apartments, college dorms, or anyone who values a clean aesthetic and doesn't want a rack of cables sprawling across the floor. The impressive i9-14900F and 64GB of RAM mean you can juggle multiple demanding applications, say, streaming a game on Twitch while running OBS, Photoshop, and a web browser without feeling that familiar lag. On the flip side, skip it if you're a hardcore 4K gamer who expects ultra settings with ray tracing on the newest titles for extended sessions. The cooling system will keep things from overheating, but you'll be trading silence for performance, and the single radiator design will struggle to stay whisper quiet under the most intense loads. Also, if you love swapping out hardware every couple of years, the soldered GPU and limited PSU mean you're stuck with the same graphics card for the next 5 years. In that case, a traditional tower or a custom-built PC might give you more flexibility and potentially a better price-to-performance ratio over time. Another practical strength is the out-of-the-box storage. Many mini PCs skimp on SSD capacity, forcing users to buy external drives or upgrade immediately. Here you